Good afternoon, everyone. I've never done this baby vlog thing before, so I'm just going to give a quick update. Um, Tomorrow I'll be 11 weeks, and yes, I'm still feeling the morning sickness and the fatigue, and every now and then I get headaches, but other than that, it's nothing that I can't deal with. The doctor tried to recommend something called Zofram. I've never had it, and I told him no. I'm used to, morning sickness up until about 14 weeks or so I can deal with it. It's nothing I need to take medication for. But other than that, I'm doing well. But what I really want to talk about is something very disturbing that I keep seeing in the news over and over again, year after year. And it really breaks my heart. And that is regarding these poor children who are dying in their parents' cars because they are deciding to leave them in the car while they're grocery shopping or whatever it is that they're doing. As a parent, you are obligated to keep your children safe at all times, and you are not in any moment to put your children in harm's way for your convenience. And I've heard some women try to argue, oh, well, I was just running in the store real quick and I'm just going to leave them in there. There's no such thing as running in the store real quick, okay? That just does not happen. But for me, it's like, let's set aside the fact that it's hot and it's summer and your car is a virtual oven. Your car is maybe 15 to 20 degrees hotter inside, enclosed, than it is outside because there's no air circulation. But let's look at safety. Your children are in a car alone by themselves outside with no supervision other than a locked door. And these parents are assuming that because the door is locked that their children are safe. But that is farthest from the truth. Your children can be kidnapped at the drop of a hat. People know how to pick locks. People will go so far as to carjack cars with children in it and think nothing of it. It's happened several times. I remember witnessing, not physically witnessing it, but a neighbor of ours, like years ago, she ran into a gas station and left her babies in the car, and her car was stolen with her children in the car. So, I mean, it can happen just like that. So aside from the fact that it really poses a health risk, I really can't see myself leaving my children in a car in a parking lot where thousands of people walk and I have no idea who's out there and they're just sitting out there alone just so you can grocery shop or whatever it is that you're doing. I don't understand the logic or the rationale that's going through some of these women's minds when that happens. I've heard daycare providers leaving children in their vans and the children are dying from heat exhaustion, heat stroke, dehydration. I've heard of fathers leaving, forgetting that their children are in the car and leave them in there. How do you do that? How do you do that? I have 6 children. And I take a head count every time we get in, every time we get out, every time we go somewhere. I'm constantly taking a head count. How do you forget your children are in a car? How do you forget your children? How does that happen? I'm sitting here trying to go over and over my head, like, how do you do that? How are you so busy that you forget your child, a part of you? But to leave your child in a car, now I'm not talking about 14 and 15-year-olds who don't feel like getting out of the car and going in the store with mom. I'm not talking about teenagers. I'm talking about anyone who is under the age of, I want to say 13. Because I don't leave my children. My oldest is 13. And she has her moments where she just don't want to go grocery shopping. And I'm like, we're all going. It's a big deal. And she comes. But I'm not leaving any of my children in the car alone. I don't know who's out there. I don't know who's walking about and where their mentality is. There's so many pedophiles and murderers out there. You don't know where anyone is currently at mentally, and you expose your children to that. And then in addition to that, to put them in a closed vehicle where your child is getting no air circulation. It is it is hot. Humid, hot, like breathtaking hot. And you have infants, babies who who are just learning, their bodies are going through the process of regulating their own temperature, and then you put them in a car with no circulation. That's a disastrous situation. So any mom out there who is even considering, oh, let me just run out to the store and get something and I'll come right back, don't do that. It is so not worth it. I've heard people say, oh, I don't feel like hearing my babies crying and begging for stuff in the store. Well, guess what? You're a mother. You're going to be hearing that for the rest of your life. So you're going to have to deal with it. If you're not able to leave your children at home with their dad or a family member or trusted family member, then you get your mind to accept the fact that you're going to take your children in the store with you. Case in point. Like, there is no such thing as, oh, I'm just going to leave them in the car. I'm just going to run out. No. Who's going to be there to defend them, to keep them safe while you're in there doing your la-di-da thing? You take your children with you. That is lazy, neglectful parenting. I don't care what anybody says. That's what it is. And if you have a problem with it, you need to reevaluate how you're parenting, because that's exactly what it is. But I really wanted to get that out there, because after seeing yet another case on the news about a baby dying in a car, I'm like, how do you do that? How do you just leave a helpless child in the car alone and not think about their well-being in the car, or not thinking, oh my God, it's hot in this car, I gotta put the air on, but then you turn that car off, there is no air running, and you run in the store and the temperature is steady rising. So I really just had to get that off my chest. And anybody out there considering leaving your children in a car, it is not worth it. Peace.